Joining me now, Seth Kaplan, managing partner for Airline Weekly, to talk more about this. Hi, Seth. How are you?
Hey, I've been doing well, thanks. How about you?
I'm good. So what are the DOT's rules if you lose your luggage?
Yeah, well, the airline has a certain amount of time to get it to you, and beyond usually about 5 days. At that point, well, it's more likely lost than not, and they are liable up to $3,500. But hey, don't think you're probably going to get that amount of money. You know, you have to be able to document what was in there, keep your receipts, and so forth. So if you're traveling with something very valuable, I mean, you might want to consider buying travel insurance, but the airline is indeed liable. $3,500, by the way, for domestic flights. International flights, interestingly, a whole lot less, only up to about $640.
Yeah, I always make the suggestion of never putting anything valuable in your suitcase, i.e. any jewelry or anything like that, that if your luggage was lost, it wouldn't be a huge thing. You could go out and buy some t-shirts and underwear, and it sort of wouldn't put you completely out. Definitely don't put your diamond engagement ring in your luggage and check it. What about an overbooked flight? What are airlines responsible for there if you get involuntarily kicked off your flight because it's been overbooked?
Yeah, and that's the big distinction. You know, most people, fortunately, don't get what airline personnel call, they don't become involuntarily denied boarding. You know, I think a lot of us have been in that situation in a gate where, yeah, they oversell the flight. They start asking for volunteers. You know, sometimes they'll offer $200, $300 vouchers. I was on one last year. I mean, I was kind of in a hurry. They got up to $800. Wow. I said, you know what, I'm not in that much of a hurry. So they usually are able to get enough volunteers. When they can't, yeah, the involuntarily denied boardings are pretty rare. But in that case, it's based on how late they get you there. For example, between 1 and 2 hours late, they could be liable for up to $675. More than that, even more, also related to the price of the ticket.
I got to tell you, after hearing this and reading this, I feel like the next time they're asking for volunteers, I'm going to get everybody together and tell them to stand down until they get the price up to about $800 or $1,000, and then we should all volunteer, because it looks like we can just get more money if we all stand together. So what were the airlines doing wrong here, Seth, that they now have to pay out these fines?
Yeah, so it seems like it happened here is DOT actually sent basically, undercover inspectors to airline ticket counters and to gate agents and said, hey, what am I what are you responsible for if you involuntarily deny me boarding? And in some cases the airlines just didn't have the information. In other cases they provided old information, lower dollar amounts. So in this case they're not actually accusing the airlines of bumping people who shouldn't have been bumped. And if you look at those fines and you mentioned them sort of between $35,000 and $45,000. Hey, Yasmin, to you and me, that's a lot of money. But if you kind of follow the money here, DOT, by those amounts, is saying, you know what, these aren't the worst violations. A few years ago, they fined Delta $750,000, I think it was, for, in that case, allegedly actually bumping people who shouldn't have been bumped. So in this case, it was about the information that they were giving out, which either wasn't there or just wasn't accurate.
Yeah, that was my instinct. While that is a lot of money to us, those airlines, it's like a drop in the bucket, really. Yeah. So moral of the story here: know your rights when you're flying and you lose your luggage or you get bumped. Seth, thanks so much for that good information. Really appreciate it.